Go!
Well, hello guys and welcome back to A Sale by Sketchbook. It's a special today because Ali is with us.
Hi guys, how are you?
He's my husband. He's also an architect and he's a very organized person, and this is why I have him in this video, because he knows what he's talking about. What? Things that they don't teach you in university. Am I right or am I right?
You're absolutely not wrong.
So we struck this conversation, it was very interesting yesterday, and we talked about planning in general, and it was very interesting because if we think about the typical methods of planning, there's a lot of them and they're tough to choose from and people usually don't know about them. And this is why we want to put it up for you so you can have like extra resources whenever you need to get your resolution in place, because 2019 is very close. So we have 9 days left until the New Year's. Okay, so let us give you some tools for your New Year's resolution.
Goals? Are we gonna talk about goals?
Let's talk about goals.
I've been watching like a couple of videos about planning, and I stumbled upon a video by Brian Tracy. So he basically laid down like 5 steps of the goal settings and how to schedule. And the first thing is like decide exactly what you want. And I think that's a very, very important thing, because you can plan all you can. You know, you can spend a lot of time planning and organizing. It's not what you want, it's not the goal that you have in mind, and it's pointless.
And be as specific as you can when you are doing your goal setting. So for example, whatever your goal is, even if you said I want higher grades in school, what kind of grades do you want? And you have to understand the why behind those or this goal, you know?
Good. And you should be very specific when you're setting that goal. I mean, don't focus that, okay, I want to improve my grades. No, say I want to improve my grades by this much. It gives you a lot more clarity. It helps you set your goals, set your priorities even clear. Because a lot of people, you know, I want to become a better person. What does a better person mean? I want to be healthier. What does healthier mean?
Exactly.
So, it's not to make it a dreadful task on yourselves, but it's just that you have a clear image of, let's say, what the final you would look like. No, but see, this is where setting goals actually comes in handy. Because when you set your goals, you're actually going to set some goals that matter to you or that you are interested in. So I don't think if you're going to set a goals, let's say to become the #1 player in PUBG, for example, you're going to play your off, you know. It doesn't have to be something serious. If you're interested into something and you want to do it, then the first thing is to identify it, write it down. Put up some deadlines that by this time I should be achieving this. So give it a what do you call it? A recognizable milestones per se.
Deadlines.
Deadlines, yes.
Deadlines.
Deadlines. I don't know why they terrify everybody. We always hit a deadline, then we just push it forward. It's basically how life works.
That's true. You know what I'm talking about.
The second step that you want to take is basically you want to break down the small tasks that you will need to do
in order to achieve a bigger goal.
In order to achieve a bigger goal, correct. A similar example, if you go to a 3-year-old kid, this is basically an example was given by Jordan Peterson. He is a professor of psychology in the University of Toronto. So what he says is that if you go for a 3-year-old child and he's playing in his room and you tell him clean your room, and then you leave and then you come back and you see that child basically throwing his toys all over the place because he's not very aware of what is the process. You know what needs to be done, but maybe that child doesn't know.
Yeah.
But if you go to that child and say, okay, you know what, pick up the toy from the ground, and then you give him a pad, and then you say, do you see that space over there? Go put the toy there. And then he takes the toy. You break that big task into
small chunks.
Exactly, a very small, easy to execute steps. Gives basically the infrastructure to that entire task.
I totally agree. It makes a lot of sense. Like usually you're so intimidated. This is why I procrastinate, because I'm intimidated by the size of the project that I have on hand. So I go like, oh, I'm not gonna do it now just because I think about all different aspects that need to go. But imagine if I were to tell myself that you just do the mood boards today and tomorrow you just do the floor plan, just sketch it out, and then you will get into that momentum. So this is why it's very useful.
Okay. Alright, so Tom Franklin, what he suggests to do is just to have basically a 3-tier of planning process. So the first tier is basically for general ideas, where you capture everything that pops into your mind, and you don't want something that you don't want to spend time on at the moment, but is definitely interesting for you in the future. The second tier is basically your weekly program. So basically you sit at every weekend and then you plan your entire week ahead and basically highlight the things that you want to do. And then the third tier is you start in the morning when you're having your cup of tea or your cup of coffee, and then bullet point your daily tasks which you want to achieve in that day, and you roughly give it like an estimate time. I want to finish this by 12 o'clock, I want to finish this by 1.
But that sounds like a lot of work. I don't think I'm able to do that. The fact that I'm working at home, that means that I have a lot of flexibility in my day. So what I do, I plan my week ahead. On Sunday, I write everything I need to do within that week, because I have a to-do list. Like, I know exactly what I need to do. So I'll take these points and I'll translate them into time blocks on the calendar, so then I am more aware of how the week should go. It doesn't go as planned. Most of the time it doesn't, because things are prone to change.
But you get more and more, let's say, familiar with the duration that a task would take as let's say, progress it. I mean, if you're gonna plan a task that you're gonna do it for the first time, there's a high probability that you're gonna basically mispredict the duration of that activity, which is absolutely okay.
It's very important for you to see all of the methods that you hear about, or you just are fancying, like this is what you want to try out, and try them out, because it might work for you and it might not, and it's okay.
Sure. And
not everything is everyone's cup of tea. That's the beauty of life.
I think it works in 2 different ways. If you're working and let's say you're finishing projects on your own, it's different when you are finishing projects within a bigger team, where you actually need a lot of interaction and you need to basically chase feedback from different parties. So those two, let's say, models, they work very, very differently.
I totally agree. Okay, so since we talked about the importance of planning, the next step is to give you some tools that we use, that we approve of on daily basis, and then you can choose whatever you want to work with. Me and Ali have different, of course, because he's working within a team, I work on my own, so of course our way of planning will be different. So Ali will start, actually. He'll talk about Evernote.
Yes.
What else?
Man, that's it.
He has a very interesting process, and also his notebook. You guys, I'm not kidding, it's crazy. He writes a lot of things on it.
That's why I stopped writing.
So yeah, let's do this. Let's move to Ali, explaining Evernote, and then if you want to, join his team, everything will be linked down below. And yeah, let's go.
Obviously, you need to create an account, register. They just need your email. You'll be basically greeted with this welcome where you can download Evernote. So you can download the app on your iPhone or on your Android device, and they can all be synchronized between the different platforms. So getting started, these are the notes that you will be greeted with once you create a new ID. Going through the basic things, so it's very easy to create a new note. So you just press create a new note, and you can use various tools. You can insert from different software. So for example, I always like to use the snipping tool. So you create a new snipping. So I'm just going to take a portion of the window just to show you how this is going to work. Just Ctrl V to paste it. Get the image inserted inside your Evernote. On the left side of the Evernote, let's say, page, there's your account, which you will use, or you can scroll between different accounts if you want. You can sign out, and below that there's a search of all your notes within OneNote. This is the button for creating a new note, like we discussed previously. That's a shortcut. You can create shortcuts for your important notes. So here, when you press here, it will show you all your notes that you have within that account. However, if you move downwards, you'll find your notebooks. So you have, for example, my notebook, which comes as a default with your Evernote account, and you have whatever let's say notebooks you create. So you can select each of your notes and then move them to the folder that you prefer to keep your notes more organized. So what happens is that since I have here two I'll call them folders to make it simpler. If you're a student and you have multiple courses, you can divide or create notebooks per topic where you can store your notes in that topic. Shared with me is basically a feature which allows other users of Evernote to share ideas with you. So feel free to explore it as much as you want. Now, my favorite thing in Evernote is tags. Tags helps you categorize your tasks in an even more detailed way, especially if you're working in a teamwork environment. So let's say you have a group project. So you can sort out your task based on the person who that task is assigned to. For example, if I go to my notebook here, let's say I have task 3. Now task 3, I can click here and I can say that this task is actually assigned to team member, let's say hashtag 3. Alright, so by default now you can see team member hashtag 3 will be displayed right here. So if you want to cause that, let's say team member in a meeting, in a group meeting or so, you can simply go to tasks and then you can create on team member 3, and again you will display basically all the tasks that are assigned to that team member, and then basically you can catch up. Last but not least is the upgrade version, and as you can see when you press it you'll go to a subscription page. Evernote by default is a free app that you can use with its basic features. However, there are more let's say optimization features if you go to premium, or you want to use it on a big business, which that will be used within basically your organization or corporates. So I hope you guys enjoyed the Evernote tutorial that I just gave you, and I hope it benefits you in planning your tasks or your assignments if you are university students, or your workload if you are an employee. All the best. Mike, back to Madame Asil.
So for my method of planning, what I start with is writing things down. The tasks that I need to do just flow a lot easier when I'm writing on paper. I'm trying to keep a bullet journal. It's one of my goals for 2019. So that's what I'm doing. I'm setting it up today. I'm not going to give you guys a tutorial just because this video is already too long and I'm recording this as I'm editing. But what I do next is something very, very important. I put my to-do list into like time blocks within Google Calendar, and I use Google Calendar on all of my devices. It's synchronized with each other, and so I take it anywhere and I know what I need to be doing next. The last thing that I discovered is Trello.com, and I've been in love ever since, because basically you create cards for each project that you have. You can create a list within each card. If you're doing something constantly and you want to automate it, this is what you do. You just write the steps. You can add members, you can add labels, checklist, which is awesome because you can see the progress and the percentage that you're done with, and then you can see also the due date. You can have even attachments, so it's really, really cool. I really advise you to have an account and to work on it, and it's also easier because you see all of your tasks right in front of your eyes, and it just makes it a lot easier to navigate. Alright, you guys, thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
We really enjoyed spending time with you and with each other a little bit.
Go to my team.
No, definitely go to my team. You'll enjoy it. It's a lot of fun and rainbows and I don't know what else. We have cookies. Come to the dark side. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great time of the day wherever you are in the world. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.